How's it going, guys? And I'm here to talk about the challenge, the invitation is more appropriate of Kevin Owens on Raw to Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. And it's going to basically be an appearance on the KO show. Kevin Owens is extremely boring, always uneventful talk show. So this pretty much cements the fact of what I made my video on about a week ago. Doesn't look like old Stone Cold's going to be wrestling at WrestleMania, guys. Wow, if you couldn't see this one coming, then I don't know what to tell you. I think that you'll basically believe anything if you really thought that they were going to get Stone Cold to wrestle. There's no way, if anyone knows anything about Stone Cold, Vince Russo even talked about this. There's no way that Stone Cold, who hasn't wrestled a match since 2003, I think a lot of people forget that he was actually going to wrestle Jonathan Coachman at a Taboo Tuesday back in 2005 that only I seem to remember, but it got canceled due to Stone Cold getting injured. I think he was having a problem again with his knee or something along those lines. But whatever the case, Stone Cold, The Rock, WrestleMania 19 classic match, forever and always will be his final match. As it should be. I mean, in my opinion, there is no greater rivalry. My favorite match of all time is Stone Cold and The Rock. Well, at WrestleMania 17, but that's besides the point. Having Stone Cold come back and wrestle a guy like Kevin Owens, a guy who is out of shape, almost seems like he's eternally going to be out of shape. He's been out of shape since he's been on the indies. He might have maybe lost a few pounds, give or take, if it's even noticeable. I've only heard. But can you imagine Stone Cold comes out of retirement to wrestle Kevin Owens, not coming out of retirement to wrestle anyone that's truly over? Does anyone really think that Kevin Owens is over, that Kevin Owens is a household name, that anyone outside of the hardcore obsessive, wrestling fans know who Kevin Owens is? No one knows who the fuck the guy is. I mean, we got to be perfectly honest here. And the fact that people had been wanting this match. I've seen this match come up online before. People have talked about because they feel like because Owens is a brawler. Owens is nowhere in the skill level of Stone Cold. This is why I kept laughing when multiple times they tried to make Kevin Owens into Stone Cold. They tried to make Dean Ambrose, John Moxley into Stone Cold. Everyone's going to be the next Stone Cold, but there is never... No one ever becomes the next anything. Because once you're labeled as the next something, your career, you're not going to be over. Because no one wants to see the second coming of something else. They want to see something original. They want to see something brand new. They don't want to see a copycat and artificially contrived, manufactured Frankenstein wrestler. It's not going to work. It never will work. And how they still feel that they can still shoehorn personalities into these people, and you could give Owens the stunner. Yeah, go ahead, use the stunner. He could use the stunner all he wants. And right here, he's saying he's going to give the stunner to Stone Cold on the KO show. We all know that it's going to be Stone Cold giving it to him. You can see that one from a mile away, and I get it. Sometimes predictability needs to happen. But is it maybe not the simple fact that why this isn't good because the whole entire product has been predictable for how many fucking years? I mean, and what is this going to do for Kevin Owens? Because Stone Cold has accepted. He made a video that was put out on Twitter. It came out today on YouTube. It's not really getting best traction, what you expect from Stone Cold. Something like 500,000 views. And on Twitter, it's getting close to 1 million. It was like 948,000 the last time I looked. So, I guess you could say that that's good. You know, it's only been out for a day. I know I would expect that to explode right away, but you know, let's not pretend like we haven't had Stone Cold appear before on a few episodes of Raw. They are rare though. Like you don't get to see Stone Cold all that often. He appeared on an episode of Raw like right before WrestleMania with Byron Sex Addict, you know, holding up the number scores. Remember that terrible segment back from 2020? So we've had a few moments here and there with Stone Cold. Also, when there was the MSG, oh, that was even prior back in 2019 when they hadn't had an MSG Raw in years and forever. So these have all been pretty forgettable appearances. Like no one remembers them. I don't even see anyone even talking about them in reference to Stone Cold. And nor should you, because they were awful moments. They weren't good. No one remembers them for a reason because they are bad. So having Stone Cold come back, I mean, do we really think that this is going to be a good segment? I mean, you know, and the fact that like the reason Stone Cold in the video, you know, they made a super dramatic video of Stone Cold getting out of a buggy, and Stone Cold says, you know, you've been running down Texas, you know, and the great state of like Stone Cold, would he really care that much? I mean, you know, if someone tells me, you know, well, New York is a piece of shit, I'd tell them, well, hey, brother, you're right. It is a piece of shit. I don't, you know, but yeah, even as a New Yorker, Texas is 10 times better of a state. I think it goes without saying it's a much better run state. But still, I mean, are you really going to take that much to heart? You know, it's one thing if you got a patriotic superstar and they're run down the country, but it just doesn't seem like Stone Cold, you know, like, and I talked about this on a number of occasions over the years. Whenever there's like a reason something needs to be explained from getting from point A to point B, it always never makes any sense, and it's always got to be done in the most shitty way possible, in the most unrealistic way possible, where there is like no possible way that anyone would get annoyed or even the slight bit miffed by what the other, you know, antagonist wrestler says. All right, so pretty much Stone Cold deserves better than this. I said he deserved a better wrestling opponent than Kevin Owens if it was going to be a match. It's not going to be a match. Instead of it's going to be a poor man's Piper's Pit. Hell, it's even a poor man's Carlitos Cabana. I mean, for fuck's sakes, you know? So with that said, you know, I mean, Stone Cold deserves better than this, than the shitty segment. I mean, he's going to be on there, you know, maybe a few extra eyes, but I don't really think a lot of people are going to really be that interested in just seeing Stone Cold get interviewed by this fat no-name guy. I mean, you know, honestly, that's the truth of the matter. I don't really think it's really going to move the dial much and get more people to subscribe to Peacock, you know, so they could watch WrestleMania. So they can see this segment that's going to like last for 10 minutes, and it's probably going to be very forgettable, just so we could see a Stone Cold Stunner. And, you know, maybe the promo will be decent. I'm expecting it not to be terrible. Kevin Owens isn't the worst promo guy out there, so I can see why they're picking him. But you're going to see Stone Cold standing next to a guy who, for the most part, doesn't even deserve to be in this promotion. Doesn't even deserve to be on fucking TV. So it goes without saying, you know, that this is not really the best of ideas. I mean, you want to get Stone Cold out there, you know, in Dallas, Texas. I understand that. You know, of course, it's better to have Stone Cold than no Stone Cold. But, you know, when you're going to use Stone Cold, I feel like you should use him with more care, because he makes fewer appearances than basically any other legend, which I absolutely love. I will hold that to either, you know, Steve himself or WWE, whoever's making that decision, you know, to use him sparingly and not make him look like a goofball like some of these other legends, you know, not having him dress up like a pirate or any shit like that. You know, obvious reference to last year's Mania. So you know, Stone Cold just deserves a little bit better than this is all I'm saying. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell to get all notifications when I post on my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.